you're going to ask the obvious question: why is there an empty frame hanging on the wall? I really like frames. I think they're fantastic, and this is one of our absolute best frames. It's made in Paris around 1720. Fantastic example of the highest point of taste and craftsmanship from that era. It's a frame that was custom made for a small panel painting by the great Flemish master, Peter Paul Rubens. And it was put on the painting, as I say, around 1720. We've taken it off the painting and we're showing it empty, really as an emblem of what this exhibition is trying to do, which is to strip away everything that can possibly get in the way of seeing the object clearly. So we're going to display the painting pretty much as it was when it left Rubens' studio. So here we are in the exhibition, and this is the painting in question. We call it The Head of an Old Woman. She has been labelled as Rubens' mother and even Rubens' mother-in-law. She's neither. She's an anonymous person that Rubens would have met in Antwerp after his return from Italy, and he painted her. And he painted her because she has such an interesting face. And that face he would have used in other paintings, in larger compositions. So he would have had his assistants, or possibly he himself, copy this head into other paintings. So she's a sort of character actor that he would wheel out when necessary. Her other function was that she could be used to train assistants. So if somebody young came to Rubens as a potential employee or assistant, apprentice, he may say, copy this and we'll see how good you are. And it would have been a real acid test, because it's a fantastic bit of painting, and to be able to emulate and partially compete with Rubens, it meant that you were probably good enough to be in the studio if you could manage that. And so the frame that we've put it in is the kind of simple frame that it would have had around it, possibly for protective reasons, while it was in the studio. And speaking of studios, here we are some months earlier in the conservation studio at the National Gallery. And this is Anna, one of the conservation staff, who's just beginning to explore safe removal of varnish under the microscope. Here's the painting a little bit further down the line, and you can see Anna's actually cleaned around half the painting. And here we jump dramatically ahead of several months where we can see her with a small brush carefully applying safe removable paint and just covering up some old overpaint that was very dark, that was not safe to remove. These are the final touches in her restoration of this painting. Well, the painting was bought in the early 20th century in Canada. It wasn't comprehensively treated, and the material that has been recently removed was probably on the painting in the later 18th century, early 19th at the latest. So really, we're giving you the opportunity of having a good look at this painting in a way that it hasn't been seen for a couple of hundred years, and even beyond that, because it's so elegantly and carefully painted, it's really a picture that hasn't changed that much since Rubens finished it, and it's in very good condition. So really, it's one of those rare opportunities where when you look at this, you look at it very closely, you're really seeing Rubens, you're really seeing his uncompromised work, and that's pretty special. So one of the highlights of the exhibition for me has been the opportunity to get these three small paintings together, and that's together as a little group, but also to have them shown alongside this painting. This is the gallery's only painting by Anthony van Dyck. He was in his late teens, 20 or so at the oldest when he made this painting, a youthful and ambitious painting. It's a religious subject matter painting, but it's also a group family portrait. These people closer to me were a real family, the people who presumably paid for the painting. And so these three paintings here are the portrait studies that Van Dyck would have made from the family as part of the preparation for making the larger picture. And that represents some of our intent in this exhibition, because we're showing you to some degree, how these things are made. What are the tools and mechanisms that the painters used to help them produce these objects? Give you a glimpse of their studio activity. And one of the nice things about this particular instance is that we're able to achieve this family reunion. These people here, they haven't been together for 400 years.